Here, we do what others don't.
Dream what others won't. Driven to leap forward, determined to always give back.
Here, we work where giants are played, where the connection of work and ethic is made.
A diverse community possessed with the passion
To know and grow and go and show the world we are prepared to change it. Here, we ask what must be done, for in doing we learn and earn success.
And you can get there from here.
DePaul University. Here, we do.
Welcome back, EGF fans. We are here in week 12. It is me, Prepaid, coming back from our last game and set with Ocean. We just saw William & Mary take down Delaware in a very close series, despite it being a 3-0. But now we move on to DePaul versus Southern Utah. And the tail of the tape here is DePaul a bit on a skid, as Southern Utah kind of middle of the pack, win-loss, win-loss. So, I mean, both these teams looking to, get a leg up and, stop the slide. So, Ocean, I mean, where are we sitting right now? What are we going to be looking for?
I don't know how Southern Utah will be win-loss, considering they've played 2 games. But they are win-loss in those games, so there is a pattern. And they would be due a win this week, technically. DePaul are currently, I believe, 1-10. They've had a struggling season. But you know what? In fairness to DePaul, they've got an 18% map winning percentage, which for a 1-10 record isn't too bad. So they've been in a couple of the series that they've been in today. I don't think they've performed great, but they've at least been in a couple of series, and that's important. And they're going to need to stay in the series today because Southern Utah are a new team to EGF, which is they're not going to have as much competitive experience as you. So if you can stay in this series, maybe they could get tired. Maybe DePaul could snatch a couple map wins today. Southern Utah 1-1, a tough game last week against Wichita State. And had a really good week to start off their EGF career against Ryder, who are currently 4-7. So the analytics, the stats, the papers say Southern Utah should probably win this one and fairly comfortably. But DePaul have been in a couple of their series so far this season.
Yeah, Southern Utah, definitely a chance to prove their stripes, prove their mettle, especially going to DePaul, where DePaul has been very lovely so far this season. They've secured a couple of rounds. Yes, and in the end, they end up losing the map, but they do a really good job early on of jumping onto their opponent. And with Southern Utah being new to the league, jumping in midstream, mid-season here, being at 1-1, going up against Ryder, then going up against, who was it again?
Ryder and Wichita?
Ryder and Wichita being a fairly high-rated team, you don't get a good sense of where they're at yet. Right, it's one of those things where they are still trying to feel out what they want to do and where they fit into the league, and we're still trying to evaluate exactly where we should put them.
Yeah, this is interesting. You know what's cool about DePaul, right? For a team that is low in the table, they're on compositions that make sense. You know what I mean? Like, this is a nice double shield composition, lots of spam, lots of damage. I mean, look at the damage here, Lots of long-range damage. You got the Zenyatta as well. Good one with the Ashe too. So I like the post composition. It's gonna be interesting to see where they set up. It should be theoretically on this high ground as they opt to do so. Southern Utah, very similar composition. 2 hit scans though. I want to see what angles they can take. I don't like currently both Southern Utah DPS are right beside each other.
Yeah, and as we see the double shields class, the DPS standing right next to each other could prove fatal. But Dolphin's going to go down along with Vanguard, and Southern Utah is having a bit of a stumble out the gate here as it's DePaul filling up the kill feed and taking control of the point. Pushing through to these doors, going to be trying to hold tight while keeping bulk back for the spam.
Yeah, that was good. It was good team fight, right? I don't like the way that we're closing up here. This is typically not a good thing to do, right? Because we're getting into an area where we can brawl. We don't want that, specifically now because Southern Utah went over to the Reaper. Yeah, this is a better position to play because we have more distance to spam from, right? It's harder now for Southern Utah to walk in because they have to walk further to get onto the top of DePaul University. This is better positioning. Did not like that they tried to close the gap at all.
Yeah, and it's going to be Noob looking to find some of these shots, especially with the Discord Orb coming out onto these tanks. Going to be awful deadly, but it does look like they know that Southern Utah is going to be dropping down. It is guessed and sniffed out, and there comes the Dynamite over the top. Going to be getting good all charge there as Bob is more than likely to come out. If he starts dropping low, and there it is, Bob's going to be doing to touch the point and putting pressure in on the back line, separating the two front and back line as the kills keep coming through for DePaul. And this is just absolutely tragic for them right now because it is full control and the high ground is theirs, and spam is so deadly in this situation. This little kill box is so tough to break out of, and they are all trapped in there. But with the respawns coming through, it could, nope, never mind. It's just going to be them falling down, Ocean.
Yeah, I don't like the way Zematic's coming in here because this fight's done, right? You know, Southern Utah, there's no way they get back into this team fight. Nice kill as well from Newbie and Volak. And this is probably last fight territory, 80%. I mean, at least they have both support ultimates. But look, DePaul have 4 ultimates online in this team fight at the very least. And Southern Utah have to at least get on top of DePaul to try and force some of those ultimates and get some value out of Zematic on the Reaper, because Zematic on the Reaper is going to be effective here as a brawling hero, but they can't get close enough to brawl.
Yeah, and even if you get that Nanovisor online, which is what they're looking to do, like you said, DePaul has more than enough ultimates to start spamming, and there it comes. Spam's going to come through, and the picks are going to start to fall because Molten Core's damage is too high. Support ult's not even needed. DePaul taking this first round pretty securely, and I tell you, if the next round's Village, we might see some sin coming out from DePaul.
You know what's really cool? DePaul, I think as I said, 1-10, really poor standings so far. But they have been in their games, right? And they're playing Southern Utah again. Very limited match experience for Southern Utah, and that's a good start for DePaul, right? You know, getting ahead of them early. You could see that there was a lack of match experience there for Southern Utah, right? They got beat out to the key area of control, which was the high ground, so they were slower. Secondly, they had both the DPS on the exact same mine goal, limiting both of their values retrospectively. And then once they were trying to approach DePaul, they didn't know what to do. They didn't have a plan. And secondly, I mean, realistically, they didn't make any swaps. But this might be more comfortable for them. They get a little bit of a reset, Southern Utah. They have to use all the resets they can get here. And they're going for a similar type of composition, at least support-wise. But they have some brawl aspects here with the Reinhardt.
Yeah, and we see DePaul kind of making wholesale changes here a little bit as the Anna and the Mercy's going to come out with the pharmacy. So it's going to be a lot of pressure onto the backline. And Volek is the first one to take down Zemetic, but Noob is going to trade out Periwinkle. It's just trades across the board. Vanguard and Noob are going to find the next 2 picks. And this DePaul composition took control fast. I mean, obviously no one's touching point yet, but that was just because they needed these kills as Dolphin is going to find Volek. But Doom did his job, and now it's a regroup for Southern Utah.
Okay, this is going to be the ultimate test here. We've got double hit scan to try and take out the 4 or the Mercy. They have done that, but it's still both the DPS on the exact same angle. That's limiting your value, right? Why don't you go and take an off angle? Why don't you go pressure the main tank? Why don't you go and zone a play, right? It's going to work for this team fight, despite the big anti-grenade from Obscure, but that's something that Southern Utah are going to have to patch up as the series goes on.
Yeah, and DePaul just, kind of crumbling at the feet of Periwinkle and Archimedes as they find 1-2 respectively. And now it's just full control for Southern Utah. And this was that grip you were just talking about. They needed to find an angle. Yes, both DPS are playing off each other. Now is the time maybe they can find some cross angles.
Yes, please. Going into the next team fight, right? Southern Utah, they have that transcendence to be really important, especially to deal with probably a nano boosted Winston coming in from DePaul. This is going to be a really important approach from them, especially Tangerine on the Diva. Tangerine has got to get one of these hit scans or both of them out of the game.
Oh, they're going to use that nano boost onto Winston, but an immediate kill because the Discord order is too much. Now it's going to be ultimates coming online for Volek and Noob. Noob is going to drop the barrage after finding the first 2 picks, and that's 2 more on top of Volek's ult finding Zemetic, and that's DePaul taking a nice swift fight in order to switch this point over fairly quickly.
That was the hard bit done. We killed the nano boost and Monkey, and no space was really given over to DePaul for that. Not sure how Newbie was able to get so much value. I'd imagine it was because it was free. A free space for Newbie just based on the positioning of Southern Utah. So that's something that Southern Utah, again, are going to have to improve. It hasn't been good enough.
Right, and even though he went down super early, I mean, I was going to say Zeph just definitely has a chance to pop Mega Monkey, but it's not even going to be popped as it goes down right away from the stun and Periwinkle respectively. And now the Visor is online. This fight is taking an incredibly long time right now for Southern Utah as Tangerine finds Archimedes, and that's going to put them on the back foot. That's Vanguard charging out. Southern Utah trying to regroup just before we tick into 65%.
Well, these Southern Utah, they have a lot of ultimates to come into this team fight with. How they use them is going to be really important. I think that I've got to set up one of their DPS ultimates. That are the main tools that you're going to have to take Newbie out with. And also, if you wait too long, Newbie's going to have that barrage. So they've got to set it up pretty well. Maybe like an early Deadeye for then a late attack visor. That looks like the route they're going for.
Yeah, beautiful space created by Zemetic. They are going to be able to get to point. A sleeping Reinhardt on the job. Not what you want to see from the main tank, but unfortunately it wasn't his choice, as Periwinkle is going to fall to Zeph, as Zeph is popping around on Mega Monkey, not giving any space to breathe. And this is a nice change of pace for him, because he went down first in the last two fights, finally gets a chance to pop the Primal, and that's going to be the team fight win. And DePaul is looking to have a dominant start, going up 1-0 in the series, 2-0 on the map.
Impressive for DePaul. You know, this is good for them. Better than what we've seen from them over the course of the season. No, they're in this match. They've actually won a map and started off strong. Can they keep control of a series? I mean, DePaul, they don't have many wins, so realistically, it would be natural to assume that they have struggled to keep control of the series in the past. But I believe they could do it. They look really good. They played a multitude of different compositions, only on 2 control points, which is good. It's definitely not what I was really expecting. And also, Southern Utah looked a little bit lost at point.
Yeah,
I have to really talk about that, because there was no switches. They never really got on top of the double shield, and that last team fight. Right, we used the Deadeye for space, and then we didn't take the space. Like, what are we doing there?
Yeah, and to your point, there was no cross angle usage, right? You have 2 hit scans and they're both playing the same space. So it's tough for Southern Utah. Maybe a little bit of nerves, like we said, they don't have very much, in-server experience, especially on a live stage. So, it could be them just finding their gears and, maybe a bit of a misfire. But for DePaul, this is familiar territory, right? They are competitive in their series. They come out and they maybe even take the first map, but we've seen it where it just slips away. They get that surprising first win, and then it just slips away. So now it's going to be on DePaul to really take a stranglehold onto this and really run Southern Utah off the server. Otherwise, I have a feeling that if Southern Utah figures out what they want to do, they could get very scary for DePaul very quick.
Yeah, I think as I said, that DePaul are a competitive team, right? 1-10, not like our other 1-10 teams, in my personal opinion. Right, and I think the reason because of that is, look at their map winning percentage, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's what, 18% in your 1-10. So you've won one series in 11 weeks, but you still have an 18% map winning percentage. That tells me you're in games, you're competitive, you're at least adapting, you've got a good in-game mindset. That at least tells me that, right? Even in a series you're losing, you're picking up a map or 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something you can build on. They're taking a really good start here. They got to keep control of the series, because they do have control of it right now. It was a fairly dominant Nepal from DePaul, and they got to just keep control. If they can keep control, since Southern Utah don't have much match experience, they could win the series 3-0, right? And it could be a big win for DePaul. But if they lose control, that's where it gets messy.
And we saw the Arispa Sigma in Sanctuary, I believe. I believe so. Sanctum. We saw Arissa Sig and Sanctum, and then we saw Monkey in the next set. So now I'm looking towards King's Row, right? That's going to be more towards that Reinhardt. Doesn't need to be, but for DePaul, that's kind of what it's been. And Southern Utah, I assume, is also going to be running that similar style. So now it's going to be about the teamwork, the synergy. We might even see the Maze come out. It's a very classic pick onto the King's Row. I'm wondering, with the state at which we just saw Southern Utah, are we expecting them to bring it together, get that teamwork, get that synergy? Or, I'm picking DePaul now. I'm just flat out. I think DePaul wins the series. I want to know what you think.
I'd imagine DePaul would be favorites now in this series. But papers still say before this game, Southern Utah claimed to win against Ryder previously, who are 4-7. They have a better record than DePaul, so I wouldn't say they're out of it. But if DePaul keeps control of the series, even halfway through Kings Row, it's done and dusted, really, in my personal eyes. But if Southern Utah get into it, they get a rhythm, then maybe they could turn it around. I think maybe for kind of looking like a ceiling thing. Southern Utah probably have a higher ceiling than DePaul, but that ceiling's being blocked right now by DePaul's control of the series. So DePaul keep control, they'll win the series. DePaul lose control, it might be a different game.
Absolutely, and I am totally riding hype train off map 1. That's what I'm doing. And this has nothing to do with statistics or gameplay or anything. They took the first map. I'm on the hype train. I'm ready for DePaul to get that second win in the season. But for Kings Row, it's going to be one of those, like we said before, and in our last series, especially between Delaware and William and Mary, it's that snowball, counter snowball effect. I kind of expect to see that here, especially with them trying to, third point is, as we see it right now, third point is always such a tough corner 2 corners to get through, and then on top of that, you got that straight into the spawn. So that's definitely a point of the map that is very tough. But yeah, I hope I see the hog. Probably won't, but it's one of those things where Southern Utah, this is your chance right now. We just said this is where you earn your medal, you earn your stripes. It's time for you to start figuring it out right now to turn this series around.
Oh, and you like Roadhog play? Come on, no, I've been
love
casting with a guy
Roadhogs
that
in
likes
this.
Road. Oh no!
Oh yeah,
What
and
have
the
I
hook
done?
lands.
Right, nah. Well, what's important here is to analyze here is this is a very snowbally map. DePaul could realistically, if we talk about potential scenarios, could capture all 3 points pretty comfortably, right? They do that, they'll probably just win the series, right? But if Southern Utah say they get a really good hold on points and get a good defensive snowball going, then that's that momentum gone, right? So this is now a really interesting map for the narrative of this series. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, good chance for DePaul, especially on the attack starting out, to get a good, nice snowball going. But it's going to be the Velik onto the Doomfist, and I love seeing that. And Periwinkle going to be taking a lot of damage right out the gate as the wall comes through and is going to be separating most of the team. And then Velik takes advantage of it as Periwinkle falls. And now Zeph is out in the front line, and that is going to be a quick point. 1 capture for DePaul. Don't see Zemetic and the team being able to push through, especially against all the front line.
Oh, this could be a late stagger on the Zemetic as well. No way that Zemetic gets out of this one. See you later. There's a stagger kill, which means I know Zemetic, I think, is going to get the late spawn, which means that this could be a really nice opportunity for DePaul just to take the entire map of Kings Row. This is just how this map works. Sorry to say it, Southern Utah fans, but you're in trouble.
Yeah, and the shadow comes down. It's going to find even more, and these are more cleanup kills coming through, even though it was a nice pin there on the side. But yeah, you're right. DePaul is taking full control of point 2, and the cart is already on the roll, getting through that really crucial choke point. And this opens up the doors. The medic swaps over to the Farah, and the pharmacy is going to come out from compress. So now a nice change of pace from the comps.
This is interesting. Especially since I think DePaul are going to take some space here, and this is going to be a difficult task for Southern Utah. They have to deal with this Amp Matrix, and they have to walk an awful long way. Here it is.
Yeah, and Matrix is going to be dropped down right in front of everyone. Archimedes is going to be the first one pressured, but they're doing a great job of just line of sighting that window. They're not going to give them any opportunities to get picks, as it is going to be Vanguard rushing right out as soon as the window goes down. They are going to be pressuring straight up in the air. Periwinkle does escape the blizzard. Everyone seems to escape the blizzard. Even Archimedes, who gets out of line of sight, so no one can take advantage of it. But with all of that distraction, 2 go down, and Archimedes soon to follow, and it is absolute chaos for Southern Utah. They were not expecting that aggression, and that is going to be point 2 taken for DePaul.
This is going to be the most important point of the entire series, because DePaul capture point C, and there's no chance for a defensive snowball from Southern Utah. The series, as I said, is done. It'll be over and done with before map 3 even happens, right? If they can get a good defensive snowball going, they've got the ultimates to do so as Southern Utah, then they'll be back in it, and DePaul will lose a bit of control as they try to take point C. So a couple of really important fights incoming. Watch the ultimates for Southern Utah, in particular that barrage and nano boost for them.
Gonna need to pull those triggers early, but Dolphin doesn't get it off as the medic finds Obscure on the side, but it's not going to be enough as the shatter comes through. Ends up getting Vanguard on the side there. Periwinkle dangerously low, and he goes down as well. So it's only Dolphin respawning, and there's 5 on cart. This is going to be a heroic effort for Southern Utah to 1, touch, but 2, stall it out long enough for everybody to get back. It doesn't look like anyone's going to get through as the pin and the punch come through.
5 minutes.
With 5 minutes. Let's go, Ocean.
What?
What just
5
happened?
minutes. That's got to be a record for the season, surely, right?
That's got to be close to 1, I would imagine.
I don't think the pedal did stop. The producer said it didn't stop once. That's got to be a record for the season. You know what? We talked about DePaul keeping control of the series. I'm not sure if they've done that. No, they have. Well done. Really good attack. I think it kind of played into their hands that they were attacking first. Let's slow things down. Let's try and analyze what went wrong for you.
Yeah, lay it on me. Lay it on me.
Because that was not good. I mean, I was talking about that last fight where you need a good nano boost, you need a barrage. I don't even remember seeing them. Like, not great.
Too fast. Yeah.
And then Archimedes didn't even get a graph. The entire map didn't even build one. Southern Utah, I've already seen that they're a better team than that. They need to play better than that.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing. And we still haven't had a DPS taken off angle at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here like wondering exactly how a team snowballs that hard. But I tell you what, it is Southern Utah's time now. They have got to find the attack of the year, as I think DePaul just put the attack of the year up. I mean, now it's time for Southern Utah to, maybe slow it down. You're seeing a pretty. I haven't seen Junkrat on Kings Row in a minute, but the fair is going to come out as well. So it's going to be on Noob and Tangerine to really slow that down for DePaul, as they do look to put pot shots in onto Zemetic. Not going to be finding very much so far, as Compress just heals it right back up. And Dolphin's going to go down. So that's pretty tough for Southern Utah to lose the Ana right away, and that's going to be the goal button for Volek and Zep as they just push through. And Obscure also chimes in on the kills, and Southern Utah is just scrambling right now.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's unique for Southern Utah, though, is that they're mixing up. Right? We haven't really seen too much of this far. We've seen a bit of it, right? But this is something that DePaul haven't faced this series, so it's something that they're going to have to adapt to. So we'll see if Zemetic can get any value on this far. It's going to have to be as Zemetic getting value on the far, because I don't really see anyone else that's going to make something happen for Utah, and someone's got to do it fast.
Yeah, Mischievous here on the BAP, slowly building up his way to the Ant Matrix. It is going to be a nice bit of damage coming through onto Southern Utah. They have to back out just a little bit here. But Compress with the Valkyrie coming online. Archimedes going to be remeching off of the demech that happened a little bit earlier. And Archimedes trying to put the pressure down, but now we've got the Nano Boost and the Valk online. They are going to have to make some use out of these ultimates as they are put through right away. But the Shatter does go down. I do believe the Tire's going to find two. And DePaul takes control of the fight, even though it was initiated by Southern Utah. It is turned on its head, and DePaul take another fight.
This is good. They're very assertive. They're in control. This is something we haven't seen from DePaul all season, really. This is good. I would like to see more of this. They're playing proactively as well, a bit of a soft spot for that one. I like that word a lot, if you can't tell already. But let's talk about Southern Utah. How do they get back into this? Well, there's got to be a power play from someone. I've talked about Zemetic. They've got the barrage online. It could be shut down by Newbie, so watch that. But Zemetic's got to come up with something here.
Yeah, Zemetic and Compressor are gonna have to find an angle, and Vanguard's gonna have to take advantage of it when they turn to stop him. And even if they don't stop him, it's still gonna be on Vanguard to find a beautiful shatter. Barrage is gonna come out right over the top of Vanguard. No one is shattered until right now. That's 4 down. Newbie goes down right away. Zemetic gonna follow. Tangerine's gonna try to turn this. 3-man bomb. Let's go. Archimedes trades it back, but I don't know if Southern Utah has enough staying power with just the Mercy and the Fair on the point, especially with Tangerine pressuring out the Mercy. Mercy is eventually gonna be pressured out with the Zemetic. That was insane on the bombs.
Yo, I love that. I love that from Tangerine. I was talking about one, Southern Utah needing a hero play. Apparently DePaul needed it, and Tangerine came out clutch with it. 56 seconds left on the clock, maybe 1 or 2 more pushes maximum, and they're making changes, Southern Utah. All they've got really is a Deadeye and an Ant Matrix, and DePaul, Riptire, Shatter, Sound Barrier. They're probably going to have another Deadeye soon as well. They're probably self-destruct before the end of this round. This is not looking good for Southern Utah.
Yeah, heroes being traded out on both teams. Like you just got both divas really coming up big for their teams, finding big stuff. But Zep is gonna turn the corner and take them all down, and it's the Tire that's gonna try to take it away. But no, Periwinkle ends up finding it in the end as Newbie escapes barely thanks to Tangerine, and Volek is there for most of the cleanup as Baby Diva is gonna go down. Dolphin trying to keep up the Reaper. Zemetic is on there all alone. Still, they just need to touch the point now. Only 10 seconds left. It's all coming to a head.
I like that.
2 more. Dolphin is eventually going to follow. Ant Matrix down, but it's not going to result in almost anything as the beat is there to secure the round. And that is going to be it, as it is just slow staggers on the point now. As long as nobody from DePaul goes down, this should be very easy to handle. And I must say, DePaul has done a fantastic job so far, as you said, of a stranglehold onto this series. As the last shot comes through, my goodness. And Dolphin is down again. Woo-wee! DePaul takes it.
Good map from DePaul, power map from Southern Utah. Like I said, I like seeing this version of DePaul. It's more aggressive. It's keeping control of this series when they got it early on. So well played. This is going to do their map winning percentage a lot of good, which is already pretty strong for DePaul, considering that they have got a couple losses this season. Good ball from Tangerine when they really needed a clutch play most. This is a good look for DePaul. Keep it up. But Southern Utah, I mean, they've got a win against a good team in Rider. What's going on today? Because this, I mean, 5 minutes. 5 minutes on, like, what is that? That is ridiculous. Like, players not building ultimates when we really need it, like an ultimate to be like used well. We're not putting resources toward it. It's like there's no plan. It's got to be better from Southern Utah. And I think realistically they're out of this series because DePaul have control. Volskaya Industries is a map where, going into map 3, if you're in control of the series, going to Volskaya, a map where, you usually see the better team win. There's not very many times you'll see like a skull gap be closed in on Volskaya. And DePaul just look better right now. They're in control. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a quick and easy 3-0.
Yeah, I have to say, Southern Utah with the win and the loss of the win, right, against some solid competition. This was unexpected, right? I mean, I wanted DePaul to win, and I was thinking, Southern Utah is going to come out hot. They're going to come out firing all cylinders, and I was like, they just haven't. They just haven't, and now they're on the verge of losing, on a 3-0 sweep. But I tell you what, if I'm not mistaken, we are going to break here. So we will see you on the back half to see if Southern Utah can finally turn this around and start taking some maps off of DePaul. We'll see you back here in just a minute. And welcome back in, everybody. EGF action right back here. As promised, we've got DePaul University going up against Southern Utah University. Ocean, we've seen 2 maps now, and finally we're seeing DePaul use their lead and use that momentum and finally start taking maps and take control of a series. And here we are on the precipice of a 3-0. And now, I mean, tell me about it, right? We're going to Volskaya. You mentioned it before. This is where momentum plays a monster factor. I mean, is this the one? DePaul finally going to take it?
DePaul will take the series. So, I mean,
Yeah.
look, I'm going to be honest. Utah ain't getting back into this one. I mean, 5 minutes time bank on Kingsford, that's crazy from DePaul. They're showing their best form of the season, right? Very impressive. They kept control of the series, something that you haven't really done all season as well. This is a good version of DePaul. We're going to Volskaya. A map, yes, where momentum will play a part, but it's also a map where skill gaps are very obvious. And I think there is a small skill gap. I think DePaul has a small advantage, and I think that's important. I think DePaul will keep that here on Volskaya Industries, and I think they'll win the series 3-0. I am disappointed in Southern Utah, but I will say they're new to EGF. It's competitive match experience that they're lacking right now. And it is understandable. And you have to understand that this roster does have potential. They beat Ryder, and that's not an easy thing to do. Right? No. So this roster has potential, but it's just a competitive match experience thing. They don't have enough of it, and that's probably why this series has completely gone away from them.
Yeah, and momentum plays a huge factor in these competitive matches, especially early on in your EGF life and any competitive series that you're in. You know, you get down and all of a sudden you, like right now, we're going into a 2CP Volskaya for anybody just joining us. And I tell you what, if you're a DePaul fan, you're sitting there going 2CP. You're super excited. But if you're a Southern Utah fan, you're going, oh man, it's 2CP, you know? And as you said, it's a big skill gap difference and you'll be able to sense it right away. But that's, you know, what we wanted to see from DePaul. It's time. They've had a lot of time in building towards this, especially with their map percentage and win percentage here. And now Southern Utah, you know, they get a chance here to do the same of what DePaul was doing earlier on in the season. Show some fight. That's what we're looking for. Show some fight, show some progression, and, you know, get proactive, as Ocean likes to say.
Oh yeah, no, DePaul be proactive today. I don't think I've seen them do that all season. Only what I will admit, I haven't watched that much of DePaul compared to other rosters, but they've been a lot more active and proactive than they have been in the previous games that I've watched this season of them. Interesting. Southern Utah switching up some roles here. Squisms is going to come in on support. Dolphin is going to move to main tank as well. So changes for Southern Utah. They obviously think that changing roles around is going to be the way forward. I always do get concerned, I'm not going to lie, that I get concerned when people switch roles around, right? Like, I think that's better just to build synergy in one role, right? Especially when you're a new team with a little less experience than some of the other teams. I think just keeping players on the same role, building a foundation is important, and I'm not sure I agree with Southern Utah switching things up.
Yeah, we've seen teams, like you said, do this in the past, and we've seen it not work out. We've seen it, you know, do a little better than that, but I think you're right. I think we're going to see Southern Utah come out and try to find some confidence, and maybe Dolphin can do it on Winston here. Going to be, you know, looking through the choke, looking for a target right away. Only sees the D.Va, so not going to decide to pull the trigger as of yet. Still looking for their advantage. Going to be going in real fast right now as Dolphin drops kind of low, but is going to be forced off the map.
Just fell off.
And, oh, is he? He just fell off. Okay, I thought he was
like
forced
fell
off.
In the corner gap.
Just wasn't paying attention, but Zeph is going to take full advantage of that, jumping onto Compress, and now Dolphin is going to go down. And it does seem like DePaul, even without the Torbjorn, is going to be able to hold strong and clean up the rest of these kills.
Yeah, that was a 5v60 fight. There's a little gap there. In fairness to DePaul, like we've seen like Overwatch League players like just fall off that gap. There's a little gap on the high ground that just leads right into a pit. I think it's a pretty big map design flaw, even though Volskaya is my favorite map, but you know, it's unfortunate. It happens to the best of us. And DePaul, you know what? They did everything right that team fight. They kept some good target focus. They didn't get distracted by Volok falling off the map. And they built up some critical ultimates. They built up their nano base, which is a great win condition on the dive combo.
Yeah, and here comes the target prioritization on Mischievous, and it's not going to find anything as Noob ends up trading it back onto Compass, and now it's going to be the full retreat as Southern Utah just needs to kind of try to get out of here, but it's not going to be for free as multiple members are going to go down. DePaul still holding strong, and to your point earlier, they are looking very aggressive and very proactive. They are not giving any space to breathe.
Yeah, I still can't decide if it's Noob or Newbie. They both make sense, don't they? I think I'm going newbie. I think it sounds cooler, to be honest. That's why I went with it. Anyways, ultimates for the next team fight. DePaul on both tank ultimates. And nothing really built up for Southern Utah, but they will build DPS ultimates soon, so they can get into the team fight with this Coalescence. They've got some good options, however, that's a big anti-grenade, and that might just end the fight right there.
I mean, honestly, you just pull the trigger when you see that many people purple on the map, and I love Zeph just going straight in, no questions asked, gonna be trying to take it home for the team, and that is a nice early fight win. Damn, Ocean, you called that right away.
Yeah, I was quite sharp on that one. But that was really important moment, right? Because that was go time for Southern Utah. You know, Coalescence in, you're going to have 6 ultimates, but then that nade just disrupts everything. Really good biotic grenade. Of course, biotic grenades, when you hit them onto an opponent, they not make sure that they can't be healed. They can't receive any healing. And if you hit them on a teammate, it amplifies your teammate's healing onto that target. So that's kind of how that works and why that play was so big from Obscure.
Squism's Coalescence is going to find initial value taking out the Torp turret, but now the bomb's going to come over the top, and Squism is going to be the one that falls. Did have Fade, but did use it early on to the fight. Now Volek's turret is popping off as we see Dolphin jumping on to Obscure and New B. I like that way better. We're going to use that. Is going to be the next to fall as Dolphin and the rest of the team are trying to clean it up, but they're all dropping dangerously low, and Volek's going to commit Molten Core, and it is going to be enough as the DPS tank lineup are able to hold off Southern Utah, but it's double DPS ultimates coming back.
Yeah, I mean, Zematic and Periwinkle, they both have a chance to kind of make themselves a hero and save this series because it's right on the brink right now. Zematic wanted to get in there, finds an angle. However, this nano boost to win, so might just disrupt everything like the grenade did previously. I think this is just DePaul's way to win this.
Yeah, DePaul is not letting them even walk through this choke for free, which is like a sign of a very good team. Zemetic is going to try to find an off angle and get this Death Blossom off and have a huge impact. Periwinkle on the other side, they are finally playing cross angles, and that is going to bode well for them, but maybe a little bit too far away as Periwinkle gets antied and goes down right away. Zemetic didn't even have a chance. Archimedes is going to have to find major value out of this bomb. And the beat is used, but Zemetic didn't catch it. Goes down to the turret as all of the spam damage coming through this tight little corner. Not even going to give him a chance to touch as Newbie finishes off the round with a double kill on the pulse bomb.
Rough for Southern Utah. We'll say DePaul, we're good that round. You know, really, really good engagements. Didn't even let Southern Utah think about, you know, even getting near the point. But I think the second thing is I'm really concerned. Southern Utah had those DPS ultimates, had those tank ultimates for a long time, and didn't even think about getting them set up properly, right? Mm-hmm. Zematic didn't get Death Blossom off the entire round. Archimedes, for the second time this series, has a round of Overwatch without using an ultimate, and that's a deep concern. Periwinkle's her attack visor didn't get any value really. I mean, they got through the choke at one point, which was good with Squism's Coalescence, but that was soon disrupted. We know that Southern Utah can play better than that. Hopefully, we'll see it in the last couple of weeks of the season. DePaul, though, very impressed. Another good proactive round from them. Good cooldown usage. Good engagement tools in particular. They use nano boost really well as well from DePaul, so good job there.
Yeah, DePaul has finally, I think, figured out much to the chagrin of Southern Utah, but pleasing to me and you and any fans out there, they have finally decided to be proactive and pull the trigger first. Obviously, antis like that, you know, just blow rounds wide open. But aside from that, you know, sending Zeph in on the nano boost, getting Newbie, you know, in the back line all the time, they're just doing a wonderful job of disrupting and dismantling Southern Utah. But now it's Southern Utah's turn. They have to decide how they're going to dismantle DePaul on this defense as DePaul just decides to rush straight on in. It is going to be the teleporter right away. Everyone does end up getting through, and now it's chaos atop of point A as Newbie and Volek are popping off in the backline right away, and it is Roadhog and Ball Chaos on the point as it is just going to be a quick killing spree for Newbie and Volek as they take down Southern Utah in a 3-0 sweep, finishing out on Volskaya Ocean. That was quick.
That was quick. It was pretty quick Volskaya map, very much like DePaul's attack on King's Row. I want to talk quickly about Southern Utah's composition going into that round. So the Wrecking Ball Roadhog made a lot of sense to try and cause some chaos, try and disrupt the series. But Wrecking Ball and Roadhog don't really work with the support line they picked. They picked Lucio and Moira together with Wrecking Ball and Roadhog. And Wrecking Ball and Roadhog will typically not be near their supports at all. Of course, those are two support heroes who are really, really good at doing healing and support in area of effect, so near close to their supports. Wrecking Ball and Roadhog are not going to be near your supports. They're going to be taking off angles, making the fight chaotic. So wasn't a great composition selection, and I think that's why it was so easy for DePaul to get that quick attack.
Yeah, getting those quick attacks off, and DePaul definitely showed us something today. They are clearly in their best form at this point in the season. Yes, Southern Utah will sadly drop to 1-2. They will have a chance next week to find a way to get back into it and get to a 2-2 record. As for DePaul, they gotta love this. Any fans out there that's been sticking tried and true with them all season, you have got to be extremely proud of them. And we will be having an interview with DePaul here in just a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. What was it? Oh, we're going to have Tangerine on. I was just double checking through the mic here. We're going to have Tangerine on from DePaul. So stick around for that, and we'll see you back here in just a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Tangerine from DePaul off of the dominating victory in the 3-0 sweep in their last series. Tangerine, how you feeling after that win?
Hey, after that, We're all feeling pretty good. If I'm being pretty honest, it feels good to get a win on.
Absolutely. And it's been a rocky road this season to get here. Tell me a little bit about the start and then, how you guys have kind of started to come online. It definitely feels that way. You guys have definitely leveled up from this last series.
Yeah, last quarter I feel like one was really difficult for us because it was a little bit difficult to get the team to kind of start gelling. We had a bit of roster things happen with college, especially how people understand, hey, I have a bit too heavy of a workload right now. I might not be able to commit as well to this. Uh, so we have to adjust. But eventually, over time, we ended up adjusting really well. I think that our first uh, split as well, our schedule was really, really difficult. So we're a little bit happier, maybe possibly coming in with a bit of an easier split coming in, and we're happy to finally show what we have to offer. We feel like we've really been growing a lot.
Yeah. And I was watching everyone's gameplay here, and it seems like you guys are being very proactive nowadays, right? Is that something you all have been practicing? Especially on Volskaya, it's very evident that you are the first one taking fights. You're not letting the tone be dictated to you. Is that practiced? I mean, that's gotta be, right? You guys have had to have worked on that for a long time.
Oh yeah, it's been a struggle bus, but we have been really really grinding out the aggression in our games. We found out that when we play at higher tempos and we really try to force ourselves on to the opponent, that it really really works in our favor, usually really well. The most important thing for us right now is just trying to figure out the best timing for every single map. But I feel like Volskaya is definitely one that we somewhat understand the timing pretty well on that map now, specifically, I would say. So it's nice to be able to strut our stuff.
I was gonna say Ocean was the one that called that you guys would take the series on Volskaya specifically for that. So, I mean, Ocean is always out here calling the wins.
Yeah, actually, I want to ask in particular. So, in a lot of series that you have lost this year, you have actually won some maps because your map win percentage is actually quite high relative to your record. So, I want to ask, is that something that has kept you positive throughout the season?
Yeah, it's definitely kind of propelled us forward. It feels really good, like after a match, that every single time we don't have to really end it feeling empty. It doesn't feel great, of course, to not get the wins all the time, but we are trying our hardest out there, and I think to a lot of the members on the team, that's really what matters the most, if I'm being completely honest, especially to us. So we've kept our morale pretty high throughout all of that.
Glad to hear it. And in this game in particular, you haven't won too many series this split or this season. However, once you went on to Nepal, it looked like you had control of the series the entire way through. Is that the way it felt to the rest of the team?
Yeah, I would say so. At some point too, it did kind of have to come down to a conversation of us being like, "Hey, we understand that we're doing really, really well right now, but we can't get complacent. We want to emulate like San Francisco Shock back when they were crazy, crazy energy, and just keep stepping on the gas, no matter how our opponents are looking in that moment. We never want to try and let up. That's something that we've been working really, really hard on, and that was something that we were able to show there. So we're happy to show it.
Oh, all right. Well, very cool. Tangerine, do you have anybody you want to shout out? Anyone special or any loved ones?
A big shout out to our coach actually today. Insane Waya ended up coming gave us some talks in between the maps, of course, but I mean, it was just the coach morale boost. I have to say, big big helper within our game. So
Yeah.
we really like that morale boost that our coach gives us. Big shout out to Waya there.
All right. Big shout outs to Weiler. And thank you so much, Coach, for helping out the team there. That was awesome to watch. And Tangerine, thank you for the interview.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right, everybody. I tell you what, we had two great matches today with Delaware and William and Mary and DePaul and Southern Utah. But sadly, Ocean, me and you are going to have to step away. I know. It's the saddest thing ever. But there's good news because if you flip over to the EGF official channel, it is Fairfield versus Canisius, and they are going at it right now in a real barn burner. But on the flip side of our break, we are going to have Sir Waltham and Twin Salty taking our spot for RIT versus St. John's. So Don't go anywhere. Swap over to the official EGF or stick right here for that match coming up. We'll see you next week.